Welcome to another episode of Navigating the Shift to Intuitives Talk. There's some interesting disclosure coming out from various news sources we're going to talk about. Disclosure of secret space program projects. Very interesting. We're also going to talk about the incident with the Catholic high school boys and the Native American gentleman. What's really going on with that? And then a little bit of a catch you up on how that meditation went that we did earlier this week.
Fantastic.
Yes. I was totally blown away by an article I read, even though it came out earlier. It isn't brand new, where there was and you saw something in your news, local news in Australia as well, 38 documents that were listed as unclassified, part of a program that studies all kinds of interesting things. I want to see if I can come up with exact names of them, like transversal wormholes, stargates, and negative energy, warp drive, dark energy, and the manipulation of extra dimensions are two of the papers. This very interesting ideas, and I went and looked at one which was talking about wormholes. And one of the things that was fascinating was they were showing I'll put the picture in. Okay, so they're showing a wormhole between the Earth and Sirius, which is what I was talking about on the webinar that I did, because that's one of the reasons, that's one of the portals through which people from other planets get here, and it's also where energy comes to us through there from the galactic central sun. And then they were showing that. I'm like, oh, neat. Kind of reinforcing my information. So that was fun. But one of the things that was interesting about these papers coming out from me was two of them were documents that Corey Goode of Sphere Being Alliance had released before they were released from in the document request, which to me means he at least, now the reason it's interesting is you and I have both said, can he be really telling the truth, right? Backing people up a little bit, Corey claims to have been part of a secret space program, to have traveled not only to our base on Mars, on the moon, but also to Mars. He talks a lot about it and about a lot of the different species that are interacting with us here that we just don't know about, species, extraterrestrial beings, and so forth. And I've always thought, if he's misinformation, if he's lying to us, he doesn't seem like he's that type of personality. He hates being on front of the camera. He's very awkward, especially when he first started coming out. And just intuitively, I don't read, my truthometer doesn't go off when he's talking, but I hit my cognitive dissonance wall big time when I first started reading his stuff. I'm like, what? They did, huh? These are where? And I know you did too, right?
Yeah, I did, because it was so detailed and going into how, the humans in the military were quite treated really bad and tortured and had their memories erased and all sorts of things to prevent them from spreading the news once they get back down to Earth. And for humans to be treating other humans that way, again, cognitive dissonance for me, going, this is not resonating with me. It doesn't matter. Like, maybe some of it's possible, but other parts of it just keep saying, my mind keeps saying, no.
Yeah.
So it's possible that there's a mix of truth and lies there, or what the story was. But yeah, here's some possible proof here that it's the case. Now, the money that had been spent on these aren't just papers. There's millions of dollars put into it.
Billions,
and
trillions.
It appears to be linked to that audit of the Pentagon. I think that's what we're talking about here, that the Pentagon was audited for the first time. You get a businessman at the helm who decides that we're going to do an audit. Well, that kind of makes sense, because the other politicians have not run businesses the same way as him, as far as I know. I'm being very generalized here, but to finally go, no, where is all this money going? Like, trillions are missing. And that was announced the day before 9/11 as well, that there's...
It wasn't, yeah, it was 2.1 or...
It was
2.3
huge.
or
No, it was
yeah, and then
double figures of trillions, saying this money is missing, and then 911 happens the very next day, so they couldn't proceed any further with, well, where is the money? So now we're looking into where is the money, and this appears to be the case. So we looked. Sarah and I were looking at the documents. So we've got Corey Good's. We're going to put links to these below. Corey Good's article. So you read through this, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah. So what's it? Tell us in a nutshell what's in this one.
Well, basically, what I took out of it that's important is that Corey claimed to have received these documents from somebody within the Department of Defense Intelligence Agency. There we go, DIA. And that is where they came from. And they have been, they've been proven to be accurate. So he didn't go in and steal them. Someone sent that to him. So that doesn't necessarily prove that all of his stories about extraterrestrials and all of that is true. No. But it does prove that he has some connections inside.
Yeah, that's right. And he was referring back, when you see the link and you go and have a look at his article, the very first link he comes to is a New York Times article from December the previous year, 2017, which was one of the first I think we'd ever seen of looking into UFOs as a real possibility instead of just rubbishing everybody that has anything to do with UFOs.
Exactly.
I think things are going to start moving quite quickly now, because the article I've put forward here was only written yesterday. This is from mainstream media in Australia. It's titled UFOs, Warp Drives, Stargates, Freedom Information Query Reveals Secret List of Pentagon Research Projects. And it's got a list here of 13 of them, but the list is about 38, I think, of different projects that have been released. Not only that, but here's something super cool. One of the meetup groups that I am part of often goes up into the Blue Mountains. That's about an hour and a half drive inland from where I am in Sydney, up into the mountains, and they do a meditation up there. And they do it a few times a year. But the group went up there just a couple of weeks ago, and someone was taking photos. It's just all this fabulous, gorgeous bushland. And in the middle of all this scene is a UFO. And somebody from the group said, oh, yeah, I saw that space was there and it was a very strange shaped cloud. But now I see it had changed shape by the time you took the photograph. So now, everyone wants to go up there to see what else is going on.
Neat.
This was plain as day. I'll put the photograph in here. Plain as day. Yeah. It's so much fun. Wow. So I think we're all got to kind of get used to the idea that if we've spent our whole lives rubbishing people who've talked about UFOs and that's just tabloid stuff, you're going to have to move on from that and go, hey, maybe a lot of these films like Men in Black, the series of Men in Black, have actually been slowly introducing us to the idea that there are others apart from humans that are here interacting, and we may not be able to recognize them. They don't all look like little pug dogs and big gooey things with huge mouths, or Yabba the Hutt kind of thing. Some of them look very much like us, and many of them are very loving and advanced, and not here to harm us at all. Because I remember seeing this article that came out. Sorry, I'm taking over here, but there was this little video of a guy who used to work for NASA, and he put it up on YouTube, and he said, look, they're here, right? They've been here for thousands of years, and if they were really as nasty as you see in so many of those Hollywood movies, they would have taken us over thousands of years ago. We would not still be sitting here supposedly free to move about and do what we like.
Occam's razor.
Torment. Yeah, that's it. And then the video got taken down. It got taken away off YouTube. It was just disappeared within a week. But I did see it, and I promise you that's what it said. So
wow. Well, I think that's one of the disclosures that's coming out. Now, the Pentagon, going back to the Pentagon
audit.
Audit, there we go. Thank you. They didn't really say much about it other than the audit failed. And I think that they're being very careful, and they're also trying to do a slow disclosure with that as well. Sort of like they are with the UFOs, just sort of gradually start to expose a few things. I think also other things that I've seen coming out is information about what's going on down in Antarctica. Something is heating up an area there, and all the ice is melting in an area. One person I saw speculated it was a ship coming to life that had been buried under there that's heating up and gradually melting the ice and is going to come out, a great big one. How fun would that be? Woo! So I think that and the technologies are starting to be released. There's that company in the Midwest, I think, around here. Can't remember where it was, that started doing wireless electrical towers.
Just like Tesla, yeah, in the 1920s
exactly.
or 30s.
So
what a great idea.
Oh, surprise, we thought of it.
Yeah. That's cool. Good. That's really good. Another possibility, I think, with the ice melting is that this is the part of the timeline where the poles are meant to shift. And in that Nostradamus stuff I've mentioned before that had been channeled through the patience of Dolores Cannon, it had said that it possibly would just move like a little bit like this. So you might find that the ice is melting at one end and it's actually growing on the other, but they won't report that, of course. They'll only report on the melted ice. So, we'll just watch that. We're not being dramatically affected at the moment. We all have to do a lot of cleaning up anyway, right? Get rid of all the pollution. That's our job. We're not here to sit here and wait for some UFOs to sort it out for us, wait for the second coming of Christ. Just get on with it. That's what we really need to get on
Ashtar, beam me up.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad just wanted Ashtar to beam him up so bad. Like, Dad, you can't get... He'd always wanted to get the goodies without doing the work.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we all do, don't we? Just like little kiddies. Just give us the Christmas presents and we don't want to do the chores all through the year. We have to do it. We have to get on with it. Yes. So what else was there? The Catholic boys.
Speaking about rubbishing people, it went out that a short video that it appeared that this wonderful Native American elder was peacefully singing and chanting and drumming, and these horrid high school boys, teenage boys, were taunting him, wearing their Make America Great hats. Again, hats. And it went huge. And celebrities all over the place were going off on, that kid has a punchable face and all kinds of, really, I will give oral sex to somebody who punches that kid. I mean, it was like it got so bad. And because it was jumped on so hard by those guys on the left, I started looking into it, and I found there's several points of view, but there's a much longer version of it that they weren't showing. And the kids from the Catholic high school were just hanging out waiting. They come there to do something, and they're waiting for a bus to come get them. And opposite them were Black Hebrew Israelites, is what they called themselves. And they're just gross. And they were saying horrible things to the boys, crackers, you're all incest and all that. There was one black boy with him, and they said, just wait, when you get old enough, they're going to harvest your organs. And the high school kids were just being pretty chill, and at some point they got permission from their adult who was there with them to start doing some of their school chants to try to kind of break free from the energy of all those taunts, I guess. And then the Native American guy comes over with the drum, and he gets closer and closer and closer and gets right in that kid's face. And at one point, they're like chanting and singing along with them and clapping and stuff like that. And it really, what happened is way different than how it was portrayed. And now they have had to close the school because of the threats. Family members of these kids, they've been doxxed. And it turns out that this wonderful Native American elder, ex-Vietnam vet, is not really an ex-Vietnam vet. And he's done this kind of stuff before.
Oh, wow. He's an activist, and a stirrer.
Yeah.
A stirrer. Yep. So I think there's going to be a problem with the Catholics, isn't it? That because we've got all these big inquiries going on into the church, that suddenly all the Catholics are going to be, tarred with the same brush, which is just not the case. Not the case.
No.
It's so easy to now pick on them because they happen to be Catholic. That's, it swings and roundabouts. That's who we're going to pick on today. And, and what will sell more papers, right? That's really what the media are all about. What will sell more papers? Not what they papers anymore.
And the spin is, this is what it's like in Trump's world. Because they were wearing Make America Great hats.
Right.
Some of some of them. They made it's all about Trump.
Yeah, and isn't that just the strangest thing of all? Surely all Americans would like the idea of America being great. So I don't understand why people would separate out, to love people who wear the hats and hate people who wear the hats. Have they missed the point that we're talking about America generally as a country? I don't understand how people can be so thick and not see that.
It's the whole strategy, divide and conquer.
Exactly. We've got to look beyond that, don't we? We've got to see every person as valuable.
As individual.
Yeah.
And also, looking at that little piece, that particular video was released by a fake Twitter account. Somebody pretending to be one of the school teachers.
Oh, okay.
And then which has since, Twitter has shut down. And there were a bunch of other Twitter fake or, associated Twitter channels that pushed it around with all the headings and stuff like that. So it was a deliberate, intentional strategy. It just happened to have used those boys. Now, they're going to go
at their expense. Those poor boys, right? At their expense. Now there's death threats and all the rest. And their school has closed. That's outrageous. But you know what's good is that it's rolled over so quickly. The whole new premise of where we sit and then we move into 5D is that all secrets will be revealed. So integrity must come up because everything that's nasty and deliberately put together like that is revealed real quick, really quick. Yeah. So we were talking about karma the other day and that things will move quickly. I think that's the idea too. People deliberately try to make a mess and you can immediately see who made the mess. So people don't fall for it so much now, which is great.
Yes. And some people are, backing off and going, oh, gee, I made a mistake. I jumped on it too quick. But
back.
Yeah, backpedaling fast as you can. But I don't think just an apology is enough. I mean, I think we've got to, I don't know, with that. And then what was the other thing that came out? That BuzzFeed article saying that Trump told his lawyer to lie. And that turned out not to be true. And even Mueller came out and said that isn't the way it happened, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
So I've seen snippets of mainstream media people saying, gee, people are going to try to make us look bad because of this stuff. We have to be careful. I'm like, no, we're not going to try to make you look bad. You look bad.
You're doing it all by yourself. That's right.
Exactly.
Lots of opportunity for that. I don't know if I mentioned it in the series before, but I had actually gone to a forum where the Australian Broadcast Corporation put on a forum bringing in journalists from the UK and America to talk about fake news. I thought that was brave already, and it was open to the public. It wasn't just for journalists. But I could see when I looked into this, I mean, sure, there may be some who are manipulating it deliberately, but other times the journalists are sitting there going, who do we trust? And that was one of the big things. We got right towards the end and one of the journalists said, the moment that thing came out from the Bush administration saying we're going to attack Iraq because they have weapons of mass destruction, and it was proven later, we couldn't figure it out immediately, that it was a total lie. They were invading a country with no excuse at all. And he said, if we cannot trust the governments of the world, then who can we trust? And everybody is kind of left like, oh. At the end, I could see, look, it's not like all these journalists are in on it. They honestly want to do a good job, and I'm sure that's the 5%. Same with many of these TV networks and the mainstream media as well. There are lots of people that really do want to give out good news, but their sources are crap and manipulated. So
they're told what to say.
Yeah.
Exact talking points, exact same words. Station to station to station to station. It's crazy. I also read that FBI, I think it is, was issuing an apology to Osama bin Laden's family because he was saying it was a mistake. He wasn't involved in 911.
So what? See if you can find that for a link. That's definitely worth. You can't be quiet
that
about
just,
that.
Flipped right by. I can't even remember where I saw that. I was like, huh? Okay.
See if you can find it. That'd be great. Gee whiz.
Interesting. Well, the good news is all of this stuff that we're seeing is all part of disclosure. disclosure of the secret space program, other groovy disclosures, and disclosure of the negative control systems that have been running our world. So it's all really good news.
It is. And the meditation that you were doing just a few days ago, it would be speeding that along, right? So not just you, but people all around the world were doing this, were running the meditation. So tell me about how yours went, because I was working, I couldn't stop and listen to the whole thing online. But tell me what happened with you.
It was fun. I talked for about a half an hour, 25 minutes about various things and building the energy and, what is the nature of the event and what we're trying to do, and think about what you want to disclose. And then we took about a 5-minute break because at about 9 o'clock, and the total eclipse was at 9:12 where I am. So I said, take 5 minutes, go out, look at the sky. If you can see the moon, great. If you're not, at least look at the sky and connect on a physical level. And when I came in to start the webinar, I was disappointed because it was pouring rain and the cloud cover was so heavy, I couldn't even see the moon glowing through the clouds. But then when I went outside for that little break, bright, perfectly clear. And the moon was like, all I had to do was step out my back door and it was right there. And there's Sirius over there. And it was just like, whoa.
Was it red? Because it was meant to be a blood moon, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, definitely more orange, but yeah, definitely. And I got high on it. It was like, woo! I came back. I was giggly and all kinds of silliness.
Wow!
And then when we did the meditation, we set the intention to connect to the cosmic central sun, which is like the center of the universe, the center of the galaxy, and then to the center of our soul, through Sirius and also the Pleiades, another portal to us, and to bring that energy here and anchor it on the surface of the planet, just like to see it spread all over the planet. And we just held that in a high energy place for some time. I came out of there and I was like, hi, talking to my daughter. Whoa, that was fun. Mom, are you high? Have you been, taking something? And I'm like, nope, yeah, I guess, I just got really high from that one. That was great. And then I couldn't sleep. I mean, it was like 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, I have to figure out some way to just calm it down.
Wow.
So it was fun. There'll be a link to it below. There's a link to it below.
That's great. So yeah,
want to go check it out.
Worth people listening in and even meditating on it now, just to sort of
exactly
tip
because
the
it
energy
adds
back
to
into
it.
Add into it, yeah.
Right, and the setting our intent each time and connecting to the life force energy of our universe and setting our intent to use that for full disclosure, amongst other things. Right, can't hurt. I want to do my part.
Yeah,
I said, come do this and be part of history, because I just got this image in my mind of people sometime in the distant future being amazed at this time of history. And wait, you lived then? You were there? You were, yeah. And I did the meditation on that day, on that point that triggered everything, that really did it. You did that? You were part of that? Tell us what it was like, So that was a really a good feeling to get. And we were all kind of buzzing on that too, thinking about people in the future talking about what we did.
Yeah, that's so great. And all that high feeling afterwards, it's kind of like a contrast to before, because I found that the 2 days before, the more people I was talking to, right, not just me, but the kind of like ascension symptoms, exhausted, like drudging along, like you got your feet dragging in the mud, diarrhea, bloated stomachs, not being able to eat. And lots of people, lots of people were talking about that. So often these things where we don't want to talk about it, we go, oh, hi, how are you? And we don't really care if you say anything after that. We just, especially in Australia.
I don't want to hear about your diarrhea, really. I don't.
No. And so we don't tell anybody. We just go, yeah, fine. And then we get on with the rest of the conversation. But if you really check around and ask people how they are, you find that their ups and their downs are often coordinated now. Yeah. We are moving as one a lot more than we used to be.
Yeah. Well, that totally happened to me. I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off. An hour and a half ahead of time, I was like, I can't move, I can't think. And then I thought, well, wait a minute.
Do you think any of that was mental? You reckon, or just you were stuck in the mud with
I just
everybody
got so
else?
tired all of a sudden. I just suddenly felt like I just wanted to go to bed.
Yeah, you think big
But
picture, right? That how many lifetimes you've been trying to work on this. So I can imagine subconsciously that there would be a drag down. Oh God, I'm going to try again.
where
Is it
my
really?
mind went was that there was a certain amount of potential on a powerful day like an eclipse like that, because it's a reboot. It's like the energy goes and it stops, and then you start it again. So
Yeah,
it's like if you were an archer and you've got your arrow and you pull back here and then you stop. That's the moment you stop, and then you angle it and then you let go and it goes again. So we were trying to angle that arrow in a particular way. So the forces, the dark forces, the deep state, whatever, who don't want it to go that way, they want it to go the other way. They were trying to do anything possible to keep us
stop you.
from doing it. Yeah. Oh, gee, I was going to do the meditation, but I'm just too tired.
Right.
I already had committed to it. Or I might have just said, "Oh, forget it." I don't know. I don't think so. I was pretty.
No, I think you're
I
right.
felt pretty strongly about it.
Yeah, there have
So
been
what I
several
said
times that's
was,
happened to me too. Yeah.
yeah. When I realized that and I started feeling like, oh God, I'm so tired, and I'd had diarrhea and I couldn't eat and I was nauseous, all the things you said, I said, you know what? No, that's not mine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you do that to me. And I used my charm mesh tool. And I just moved it out of me and I sent it back to the uncreate wormhole and said, nope, I'm not going to. I just said, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm not falling for it.
Mm.
And it eased up. So
Mm.
by the time I am like, oh, you know what? I need to run to the store and go get this. And by the time the webinar started, oh, of course. And then 5 minutes before, I'm like getting ready to set up, my computer totally crashes.
Right.
It's like, you're not giving up, are you? Well, that's okay. I'm just going to get it back up and we're going to start again. So
Mm.
I think there
might be a mix, right? There might be a mix of
right.
worldwide kind of, even if it's just energetic sabotage, or but also within ourselves of, can I make this really happen? Is it really going to
Yeah.
make a difference? And then to get past that, walk beyond it, gonna do it anyway, right? And then way feel so good afterwards, because it does
Right.
happen quite a bit at the moment. I'm finding, yeah, it's definitely worth stepping up and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Well, you and I have talked about this before. We've both been working on this for a long time. I mean, I've been consciously working since I was like 10 years old and started going to the Joe Ray church we talked about before. Can't remember what show, but we did. That I was here to bring paradise on earth, to change the planet. And that's been a lot of decades, folks.
Yeah, put that into a
So,
10-year-old is kind of, you don't want to tell too many people about that either, right? Because they'll stomp on it as quick as they can.
good point.
Mm,
Well, I had support of my people around, but were part of that.
that's great.
But that wasn't the only lifetime we've been doing this too. So it's like you get so close and we think, okay, this time it's gonna, and there's a part just like, I want it now fast. And I learned the hard way probably 30 years ago when I said something. I don't even remember the details now. I just remember the lesson, which was, I want that now. I don't want to wait anymore. I want it now. And whatever happened, it went too fast. I got really sick, or it was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't have to make it all happen that fast. Maybe I'll allow for things to happen smoothly as well. And I think that's why we didn't get the event, and that things have happened more slowly than I anticipated.
Or a
So
step
many
at a
people
time,
expected.
right? Yeah.
It's a gradual, but I think we're well on our way to heaven on earth.
That we're the people that are not aware of what's going on and the changes and the evolution. It would scare the pants off them if we move too quickly. It really does have to move a little piece at a time.
It's going to anyway.
Mm.
People, you know what? People are going to be freaked out. This is the year of truth. That was my big channel moment. It was like, year of truth. And boy, truth will set you free, but it's going to scare a lot of people and really upset people. They're going to hit cognitive dissonance. They're going to attack the messenger. When they can no longer deny the truth, they're going to be furious and betrayed. And it's going to be...
And disappointed, like the whole foundation falls out from underneath you and you suddenly go, There's nothing underneath, you know. There's
All these
so
people I
fear.
trusted,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
And
that
questioning
betrayal
and doubt and all the rest.
and
So
revenge.
yeah, and those negative
So,
things to is just not going to help anything. To go out into the street with your pitchfork and your fiery torch like the olden days. We have got to be more evolved than that. We've got to let them be made accountable, but we don't have to lynch them.
exactly. And it's going to fall to people like us who aren't in shock as these disclosures come out to maintain the calm and the peace and, yeah, I knew this was coming. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, there'll be
There's
things that
there's a
we don't know
plan,
either. Of course, there'll be heaps
of
that we
course.
don't know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not like you get woke and then that's it. It's done. I'm all woke already. I swallowed that red pill. I'm done. No, no. I think that rabbit hole
no,
just gets deeper and deeper the more you travel in it.
yeah, yeah. It'll be good to clean it all out. So sounds
Yes.
good. Can't wait till
All
next
right.
week. Things are moving along quite quickly now. So yeah, we'll see you next week.
We'll see what we have to talk about next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.